Hi guys, this is Daryl and welcome back to Sci-Fi Odyssey. Today we're diving headfirst into the introspective intersection of philosophy and sci-fi, books that are guaranteed to make you question everything. In a good way, of course. These books aren't just your run-of-the-mill space battles or dystopian nightmare fuel. Nope. These are the kind of stories that tackle the big, profound, and let's face it, downright uncomfortable questions about existence. You know, the kind that make you sit back and think, wait, what even is consciousness? These aren't just about cool gadgets and alien invasions, although those are fun too. These books are about digging deep into the real stuff. The philosophical fabric of reality, the boundaries of our own identity, and what it really means to be human. It's heavy, but trust me, it's worth it. Don't expect the answers, these stories are more about opening doors and closing them.
Is this some radical new therapy?
You see?
So if you're ready for sci-fi that pushes the boundaries of your brain power and takes you on a wild ride, both inward and outward, you've come to the right place. So let's do this.
Do it. 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 Do it.
Kicking things off is Dying Inside by Robert Silverberg, a novel that hit the shelves back in 1972. Set in New York City, this book puts a unique twist on the whole psi-power, I can read your mind trope. But heads up, don't expect superpowers and flashy action scenes here. Nope, Dying Inside takes us down a much more introspective and, let's be honest, kind of melancholic road. This is the story of David Selig, a guy who's been able to read minds his entire life. Sounds cool, right? Well, not so much anymore, because now his ability is slowly slipping away. Think of it like losing Wi-Fi right in the middle of your favourite show. Except, you know, with higher existential stakes. Silverberg does an incredible job weaving together some heavy themes like aging, loss and identity. It's the kind of story that makes you ask yourself, what happens when you start to lose the very thing that makes you, you? For Selig, telepathy was his defining feature, his secret edge in life. But as the power fades, so does his sense of purpose. Dying Inside becomes a meditation on what it means to face your own obsolescence, a fear that, let's be real, we can all relate to, whether or not we have telepathic abilities. The story is told through Selig's internal dialogue. We get regret, nostalgia, existential dread, basically all the fun stuff. As you read, you're left grappling the big questions. How much of who we are is tied to what we can do? What happens when that thing is taken away? Dying Inside isn't just sci-fi, it's an exploration of the transient nature of power, youth, and well, life itself. It's raw, emotional, and hauntingly relatable, even as it delves into speculative territory. Next we have the Diaries by Stanislaw Lem, originally published in 1957. Lem is often considered one of the greatest sci-fi writers of all time, and this collection of stories featuring the eccentric space traveller Ajahn Tichy shows exactly why. Lem blends absurdity, humour and deep philosophical musings in a way that makes these tales as intellectually stimulating as they are entertaining. But the Diaries isn't your typical beginning, middle and end kind of story. It's a wild collection of interstellar adventures that are as bizarre as they are thought-provoking. Ajahn Tichy, the spacefaring protagonist, goes on a series of increasingly strange journeys, from dealing with time travel paradoxes to running into alien civilizations that make you wonder if Earth is actually the weird one in the universe. At first glance, these stories might seem totally absurd. Trust me, they are. But beneath the ridiculousness, Lem is asking some of the big questions. What even is reality? Do we actually have free will, or are we just cosmic puppets? And what does it mean to be human when the universe is filled with life that operates under completely different rules? Lem's genius is that he makes you laugh while simultaneously making your brain hurt, in the best way possible. Whether Tichy is trying to negotiate peace treaties with aliens who speak in ways that would make a human head explode, or dealing with the ethical dilemmas of super advanced technology, these stories are packed with wit and philosophical depth. Lem has this incredible way of reminding us just how tiny and insignificant we are in the grand cosmic scheme, yet he does it with humour that keeps existential dread from completely taking over. These stories force us to face the limitations of our own understanding, all while taking us on a chaotic, hilarious ride through the cosmos. Now let's explore Embassytown by China Miéville, first published in 2011. This book takes us to the far reaches of space, but this is not your typical aliens and humans kind of story. This one pulls us into the weird and wonderful world of language, thought, and how aliens' minds work. Spoiler alert, it's not like ours. At the centre of it all is Avis Benna Cho, a human who's been zipping around the universe for years, but finally makes her way back home to Embassytown, a human outpost in the middle of nowhere. But here's where it gets interesting. Embassytown is also where humanity meets the heiress, a seriously alien species whose language is, well, let's just say mind-blowing. They don't just speak their language, they live it. They can't lie, ever. Their language is so tied to their reality that untruths are literally impossible. But then enter humans. Dum dum dum! Us pesky little people with our love for metaphors and, well, bending the truth just a smidge. Suddenly, the heiress are faced with concepts they've never even considered, and things get, they get messy. At its core, Embassytown is like a crash course in the power of language. How it's not just about communicating, but also about how we think, and even how we perceive reality. Miéville takes the concept of linguistics and pushes it to its limits, asking some seriously deep questions, while also using the alien culture to make us reflect on our own. Look, I'm not gonna lie, this is a challenging read. But if you're into sci-fi that makes you question everything, then Embassytown is absolutely worth diving into. Last but definitely not least, let's talk about The Drowned World by J.G. Ballard, first published in 1962. Ballard takes us on a psychological and existential journey into what happens to the human mind when the environment around us changes in extreme ways. The story follows Dr. Robert Curran's and his team of scientists as they explore a world that's basically turned into one giant tropical lagoon. Think prehistoric swamp vibes, not Waterworld.
Paper! Have you ever seen paper?
The climate has thrown it back to the Triassic period, and as the temperature goes up, so does the weirdness. What starts as an exploration of a new watery world quickly turns into a trippy journey through the characters' own minds. Time starts to feel slippery, reality blurs with hallucination, and before you know it, you're not sure if they're surviving the world or themselves. Ballard uses this submerged world to dive into the human subconscious. The characters aren't just battling rising water levels, they're battling their own primitive instincts and the darker parts of their minds. Ballard's basically saying, hey, as the world around us changes, we change too. Sometimes in ways that aren't exactly peachy. Ballard's writing is eerie, introspective, and gives off some serious impending doom vibes. The Drowned World isn't just a survival tale or cli-fi crammed full of heavy-handed messaging about climate change, it's a meditation on the primal forces that drive us, the razor-thin line between civilization and chaos, and the way nature has a funny habit of taking back control. And there you have it, introspective sci-fi books that will seriously mess with your mind, stretch your imagination, and make you question pretty much everything about what you thought you knew about reality, identity, and the future of humanity. No big, right? Which one of these is going to make it onto your reading list? Drop your picks in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this little trip down the introspective side of sci-fi, hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Thanks so much for watching. If you're craving an extraordinary journey through realms unexplored, consider delving into universes directly out of my brain by checking out my sci-fi novels Black Milk and Delphine Descends. You can find more details in the description. Thanks for your support.